This is my full series review for The Acolyte. I know a lot of people do not like this show, but I found a lot of good qualities in it. I love the fights. The fights were choreographed really great. Now, this show did give me prequel vibes, so I understand why, at first people might not like it. But just like with the prequels, I feel like this show could become loved down the line. It's not that bad. There's a lot of great characters and moments in this show that redeems it from whatever lack of whatever people feel from this. I thought it was great. I didn't have any issues with the show. I love the villain, and I would love to see more from all the characters, but definitely the villain. I want to know more, and hopefully they can bring everybody back in the future, in a different show. I am sad it did get canceled, but I do understand the backlash, but also there's really no need for a season 2. They could definitely bring everybody back in their own way in different shows or whatever the case might be. But I really like it, and I don't really understand why it's hated so much. I've always loved the prequels, and those two have also been super hated, and I just feel like if you're a Star Wars fan, you should try to give this show a chance, because it's not bad. A lot of character, this show is really bold. Some of the things they show and do in here is pushing it for Star Wars. They kill kids. You see a kid get killed, not directly, but more so than in Revenge of the Sith. And I think that that's very bold, and a lot of the when people die in this show, it's really graphic for Star Wars, and I like it. That's not a bad thing. I think Star Wars has the opportunity, like Marvel, to dive into rated R. I don't know if they ever will, because they say it's for the kids, but there's people who are 80 that enjoy Star Wars, so this show could definitely put it in a place where it could dive into that. I don't know if they will, but there's a lot of characters like Master Saul, Osha, Yord, Andara, the villain, May, that are all great characters and would love to see in the future, especially with the mind erasing that happened to May, and then also Osha going with the villain to train, and where the Jedi Council is gonna handle this situation, and then the reveal of Master Yoda at the end, and also the review that is gonna happen of the Jedi Council by the Republic that will eventually lead into the very political state that it gets into by the time the Phantom Menace comes around. And I love it. I love the breakdown of oh, okay, I see where this leads to this, and I gotta know more about the villain and who this is, because there's great potential to be a great villain. He just needs more time to be fleshed out, and I think we will get that hopefully eventually. I hope they don't completely abandon this time period and this storyline, because I would love to see more. And this man killed a bunch of Jedi, so there's no way they're just gonna let it slide by and that's the end of it. They gotta handle this situation somehow, some way, and I hope we get to see that. Another character I'm really want them to dive deep on is Kelnaka, because just like in The Mandalorian, where we saw a Wookiee bounty hunter for the first time, we finally seen in live action a Wookiee Jedi, and I just want to know more, because there's not, like they said in Clone Wars, there haven't been a lot of Wookiee Jedi. So I need to know more about this character. I want to know more about this character. And one of the things that is his death is really, he didn't get really much time to shine. And I wish they would have let him shine a little bit more. Maybe get a fight with the bad guy. That would have been cool to see. But the time he did have, I was really interested. And I wish they would dive more into it in the future. I know he's getting a comic book, and a bunch of characters are, but I meant like in a show or in some way. One thing I do really have a lot of questions about is that mysterious person that we saw on the planet looking at Osha and the villain, and if he is a Sith or what. Is he the true Sith Lord and we just don't know, or what's going on with that? And I would also like to see more of Osha as a Sith apprentice. That would be really great, because I feel like she has the potential to be a good Sith, but I don't know what their plans are for future installments in this timeline and with these characters, but I would definitely like them to touch on it. But overall, I just have to say this show was not bad. I really don't get the hate behind it. I get it's not what everybody wants to see. They want more of like The Mandalorian or Ahsoka, which I love Mando, I love Ahsoka, but there's just only so many stories you can tell until you are overlapping with other movies. That's why I don't want them to keep diving in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, but they could easily adapt more before the prequel trilogy and beyond the sequel trilogy. And I hope they continue this time period, and I hope they continue with these characters. That's what I would like to see the most.